will only create more social problems than they will solve. And that in a real sense it is impractical for the Negro to even think of mounting a violent revolution in the United States. So I will continue to condemn riots and continue to say to my brothers and sisters that this is not the way. Continue to affirm that there is another way. But at the same time, it is as necessary for me to be as vigorous in condemning the conditions which cause persons to feel that they must engage in riotous activities as it is for me to condemn riots. I think America must see that riots do not develop out of thin air. Certain conditions continue to exist in our society, which must be condemned as vigorously as we condemn riots. But in the final analysis, a riot is the language of the unheard. And what is it that America has failed to hear? It has failed to hear that the plight of the Negro poor has worsened over the last few years. It has failed to hear that the promises of freedom and justice have not been met. And it has failed to hear that large segments of white society are more concerned about tranquility and the status quo than about justice, equality, and humanity. And so in a real sense, our nation's summers of riots are caused by our nation's winters of delay. And as long as America postpones justice, we stand in the position of having these recurrences of violence and riots over and over again. Social justice and progress are the absolute guarantors of riot prevention. Now, let me say, as I've always said, and I will always continue to say, that riots are socially destructive and self-defeating. I'm still convinced that nonviolence is the most potent weapon available to oppress people in their struggle for freedom and justice. I feel that violence will only create more social problems than they will solve. And that in a real sense it is impractical for the Negro to even think of mounting a violent revolution in the United States. So I will continue to condemn riots and continue to say to my brothers and sisters that this is not the way. Continue to affirm that there is another way. But at the same time, it is as necessary for me to be as vigorous in condemning the conditions which cause persons to feel that they must engage in riotous activities as it is for me to condemn riots. I think America must see that riots do not develop out of thin air. Certain conditions continue to exist in our society, which must be condemned as vigorously as we condemn riots. But in the final analysis, a riot is the language of the unheard. And what is it that America has failed to hear? It has failed to hear that the plight of the Negro poor has worsened over the last few years. It has failed to hear that the promises of freedom and justice have not been met. And it has failed to hear that large segments of white society are more concerned about tranquility and the status quo than about justice, equality, and humanity. And so in a real sense, our nation's summers of riots are caused by our nation's winters of delay. And as long as America postpones justice, we stand in the position of having these recurrences of violence and riots over and over again. Social justice and progress are the absolute guarantors of riot prevention. And let me say, as I've always said, and I will always continue to say, that riots are socially destructive and self-defeating. I'm still convinced that nonviolence is the most potent weapon available to oppress people in their struggle for freedom and justice. I feel that violence will only create more social problems than they will solve, and that in a real sense it is impractical for the Negro to even think of mounting a violent revolution in the United States. So I will continue to condemn riots and continue to say to my brothers and sisters that this is not the way. Continue to affirm that there is another way. But at the same time, it is as necessary for me to be as vigorous in condemning the conditions which cause persons to feel that they must engage in riotous activities as it is for me to condemn riots. I think America must see that riots do not develop out of thin air. Certain conditions continue to exist in our society, which must be condemned as vigorously as we condemn riots. But in the final analysis, a riot is the language of the unheard. And what is it that America has failed to hear? It has failed to hear that the plight of the Negro poor has worsened over the last few years. It has failed to hear that the promises of freedom and justice have not been met. And it has failed to hear that large segments of white society are more concerned about tranquility and the status quo than about justice, equality, and humanity. And so in a real sense, our nation's summers of riots are caused by our nation's winters of delay. And as long as America postpones justice, we stand in the position of having these recurrences of violence and riots over and over again. Social justice and progress are the absolute guarantors of riot prevention. And let me say, as I've always said, and I will always continue to say, that riots are socially destructive and self-defeating. I'm still convinced that nonviolence is the most potent weapon available to oppress people in their struggle for freedom and justice. I feel that violence will only create more social problems than they will solve, and that in a real sense it is impractical for the Negro to even think of mounting a violent revolution in the United States. So I will continue to condemn riots and continue to say to my brothers and sisters that this is not the way. Continue to affirm that there is another way. But at the same time, it is as necessary for me to be as vigorous in condemning the conditions which cause persons to feel that they must engage in riotous activities as it is for me to condemn riots. I think America must see that riots do not develop out of thin air. Certain conditions continue to exist in our society, which must be condemned as vigorously as we condemn riots. But in the final analysis, a riot is the language of the unheard. And what is it that America has failed to hear? It has failed to hear that the plight of the Negro poor has worsened over the last few years. It has failed to hear that the promises of freedom and justice have not been met. And it has failed to hear that large segments of white society are more concerned about tranquility and the status quo than about justice, equality, and humanity. And so in a real sense, our nation's summers of riots are caused by our nation's winters of delay. And as long as America postpones justice, we stand in the position of having these recurrences of violence and riots over and over again. Social justice and progress are the absolute guarantors of riot prevention. Let me say, as I've always said, and I will always continue to say, that riots are socially destructive and self-defeating. I'm still convinced that nonviolence is the most potent weapon available to oppress people in their struggle for freedom and justice. I feel that violence will only create more social problems than they will solve. That in a real sense it is impractical for the Negro to even think of mounting a violent revolution in the United States. So I will continue to condemn riots and continue to say to my brothers and sisters that this is not the way.
All right, guys. This is Devil's Advocate here with the Pitchfork Podcast for January 22nd, 2021. Let me pull the camera back a little bit. All right, so if you want to follow me on social media, you can follow me on DLive, Mr. Devil's Advocate, Trovo, Mr. Devil's Advocate, YouTube, Devil's Advocate, Twitch, Fuse, Painter, 86, Twitter, Devil's Advocate. Listen, I tried to get Mr. Devil's Advocate on Twitter. I just couldn't get it. I tried. I tried, man. I tried my hardest. I gave it my best shot. All right. Now, with that being said, guys, if you like the stream, like the podcast, hit the like button, hit share button, let people know that I run this podcast. If you want to participate in this show, the number to dial in is 253-203-6784. Again, the number to dial in is 253-203-6784. At least for the time being, the number is right up there. It'll be also up on the next scene. Now, with that being said, guys, if you're calling from an actual area code, no, you're not going to just call in from unknown numbers and just drop a bunch of trolling BS. I don't care how much you bitch and moan about it. It's not going to happen. Nope. Tried it one time. You guys ruined that. Because I got a bunch of inbounds from somebody, and that's not speech. That's not a conversation. That's just you upset because I keep making fun of you and your crowd losing the freaking election because your Cheeto freaking Palpatine didn't win a freaking election. Stop crying. Stop whining at me. Guess what? That's what it is. Are you going to sit here and just cry for the next 4 years? Because I am a salt miner. I'm just a humble salt miner, a humble salt merchant, and I need the salt. All right, I need the salt. Bring the salt. By the way, if you also don't have a phone, if you want to still participate in the show, you can join my Discord server, join the voice chat, and I will be in the voice chat. Just let me know that you're in the voice chat in the chat, and I'll be in there. With that being said, I'm in the voice chat right now. Well, I was in there, but I don't want to be in there right now, at least so quickly. Because I know how some of you are. You're going to just jump in and start being all wow. Being all wow style, you know. Anyways, guys, we got a full day of news for you today, guys. We're going to be discussing several things about Mr. Joe Biden, the new president. We're going to be discussing some things about the previous president. We're going to be doing some COVID news. Also, some local news that I think you guys should be catching up on. News around the country that you guys should be catching up on. Also, some news from around the world. With that being said, guys, if you want to submit news, you can just drop it in the chat, drop it, whatever. I leave social media contacts in the description. Reach out to me on social media, on Twitter, Facebook, you name it. You reach out to me, and I will, in fact, respond to you. I'm pretty good about that. Pretty good with that. Now sometimes I've gotten some criticism about me responding into live chats. I've changed things up so I can do that a little bit better. However, I am a little bit better about that. So I apologize about that in the past. I never really paid attention to like live chats. Really, I wasn't really a streamer before. But now that I've kind of gotten used to it, I brought my radio self to a podcast. So with that being said, guys, we're gonna be covering some news today. We're gonna cover some videos, some news articles from Fox News, from CNN, from Newsmax, from MSNBC, from all over the place. The reason being is because the reason why I do that, just to kind of explain to some of the new people, is that I want you guys to read the news the same way that I read it. I don't want you to get it from one source or one primary source. I want you guys to be able to go around the internet and get it from different sources. Get it from a right source, a left source, a centrist source, a source from maybe the far right, maybe the source from the far left, and then make your own conclusions, make up your own mind. But don't just go to one news source and then all of a sudden say, that's my bae, that's my boo, that's what I'm going with, and you will never change my mind. All right? You don't want to do that, because that's how you end up storming the Capitol based on fake news. That's how you end up believing that police officers are actually good people. That's how you believing that judges are actually good people. That's how you end up believing, in propaganda and nonsense. Everyone pissing and moaning about, dictators, authoritarians, totalitarians. For everybody bitching and moaning about those people, I gotta say, you make their jobs a whole lot easier. If you're just gonna believe something that somebody regurgitates to you without doing your own research, like for example I do, or some other people that I know, if you're not gonna do that, well then it's very, very easy to fool you. It's very, very easy to see why Brandon Tatum, Sticks Texas Hammer, freaking Tim Pool, why they are just collecting patron money from these idiots. Just paying them to be wrong and just feed them a narrative. And I'm fine with that. That's why, to be perfectly honest with you, me not having patrons, I wear it as a badge of honor. Because that means that people are paying to be stupid, while I'm giving you the truth for free. And then, in that kind of irony, I do love it. That's why I don't want a patron. I leave the Patreon up, but I don't want a patron. I wear it as a badge of honor. Like if the alt-right or somebody of MAGA is listening, the worst thing that you can do to me is become like an actual patron. Because I've been wearing this as a badge of honor for a long time. That's the worst thing that you can do to me. I would almost be upset with you. I would try my best to reject it. I have it up just because I want to have it up, but I almost don't want it now. It helps me prove a point that people are willing to pay for lies versus the truth. They are willing to pay for convenient lies versus being told the goddamn truth. And I kind of like that irony. It's very good to me. It makes me laugh. It entertains me. It's very interesting how people will say, "Oh, look at those crazy Christians. They're paying these mega church pastors, or look at those crazy Mormons and their silly beliefs of these Scientologists." And then you look at those exact same people. You try to show them how they are being cultish, they're being cult-like, and it's very, very difficult for those people to accept that. Like I remember when I first started questioning the MAGA movement. If you look back on my channel, I started putting out videos about how I think the right was wrong about marijuana, about how urban camping was stupid. I started questioning cops a lot. And I started noticing the cognitive dissonance right there. It's about a year into Trump's administration, and I was thinking to myself, long term, this is not going to work. I knew it right then. Long term, this is not going to work. Long term, these people are going to be more of a liability than they're going to be of an asset. I knew it right then, and I realized that. And so when I realized that, that's when you first started noticing me questioning the MAGA movement a lot. I started going at them a lot, and many of those people were pretty upset with me for trying to improve the MAGA movement in such a way that I wanted them to stop being bootlickers. And the right just would not stop being bootlickers. It's just It was so disheartening to watch the right just melt into bootlicking, not even divulge, but just melt into it. It was just so disgusting. Like, it made me so angry when I saw, people who were saying, oh, question the government, or 1776, or you're not going to come and take my guns over my dead body. Come and take it over my cold dead fingers. Shall not be infringed. And I had to ask those people, who do you think is going to affect all that shit? The police. You got people like, well, I don't think most cops are bad. Prove it. I can demonstrate that most of them are fucking bad. Yes or no, do cops enforce laws where people are arrested for nonviolent business? And if you say some stupid shit, I don't care who you are. I don't care how long I've known you. If you say some stupid shit, like, well, it's the law, shut the fuck up. I'm going to say it for you ahead of time. Shut the fuck up. Here's why. Because in many of those cases, in fact, almost all those cases, the cops could choose to not enforce that shit. Don't fucking make a goddamn excuse. You and I both know, if you're listening to this podcast right now, the cops can choose to not enforce bullshit. They can choose to not do it. For example, there was a acrobat in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Her name was Sam Panda. In fact, I'm going to show you something real quick. A lot of people haven't seen this. I want to show you this, because before people go and make a fucking excuse, because I really, really hate it when people just suck off cops, man. It just make excuses for goddamn cops. It's just so annoying. Before we get into the news here, so Sam Panda, Myrtle Beach. Because before this cop dick sucker say, oh, not most of them are bad, let me go ahead and shut these little stupid fucks up before I even go any further. So you mean to tell me that this is the police department here who arrested a woman for wearing a thong on a goddamn beach, right? You telling me that most of these officers are okay? Because most of these officers enforce this shit. Don't make a fucking excuse. I've lived in this goddamn thing for over 30 goddamn years. Shut the fuck up ahead of time. Zip it. Because I can already see the fucking excuses. Fucking zip it. I live in this state for over 30 goddamn years. Yes, multiple officers enforce this shit. The officers in that fucking department know that shit. They can say something. They can speak the fuck up. And if they have not spoken the fuck up, don't make a goddamn excuse for them, because as soon as you do, I'm going to ban you from the goddamn channel. No more comments. Because at that point, you are beyond goddamn saving. You're beyond fucking stupid at that point. Mind you, this is during a global pandemic. A global pandemic where these officers are not wearing fucking masks. So before you go to make a fucking excuse for these goddamn officers, stop it. Just fucking stop it. This is the kind of shit that makes black people like me angry. When people just make fucking excuses. If you would just say, okay, these cops are goddamn wrong, maybe I wouldn't be so fucking extreme. But if you can't even shut the fuck up about one goddamn issue, and just say, okay, in this scenario, if this police department is enforcing this shit, they are all fucked up. We will just say that one department. Maybe I wouldn't say they are all fucked up, but if you're gonna make excuses for this one department, well then they're all fucked up then. Don't make a fucking excuse. I better not see one in the goddamn comments. I'm telling you now. There is no excuse for this shit. Let me play the goddamn video. Unbelievable.
So, why is it illegal to have a bikini on the beach?
I literally wear this to the beach every day.
I want us to show you. We're going to show you. Absolutely. Did someone complain?
Yeah.
We don't just show up and tell everybody
we just don't show up and throw people handles.
No, I understand.
Turn right to it. Nudity displayed for economical parks, specific sexual areas and activities. It shall be unlawful for any person to appear in the nude on any public beach access to public waters or any public property in the view of the public.
He is sitting there not only enforcing this bullshit, but justifying it. I better not see a fucking excuse for it. I don't care if it's Sandre. I don't care who it is. I better not see a fucking excuse for it. Stop it. That entire department is shit. I am so sick of the blind defense of goddamn cops. I don't know what the fuck the goddamn do. That is some bullshit. That shit is fucking wrong. And if we can't even condemn that one goddamn fucking department, don't ever expect me to like cops ever again. If you make a fucking excuse, I'm only gonna get more fucking extreme. If you just say, okay, that shit's wrong, that department's fucked up, that's gotta change, I'll move on. I'll stop getting more gradually fucking extreme. But if I keep seeing more people dick sucking or just making excuses, if anything comes out of your mouth other than this is completely fucked up, you are a piece of shit. And I will continuously call you a piece of shit. Yeah, I gotta fucking yell. I gotta be goddamn angry and shit. Because I already know the cop dick suckers are gonna come up. Oh, well, but it's the... Oh my God. I've dealt with these people for so many fucking years to the point where I don't even talk to you anymore. Honestly. It gets to the point where I hope some of these people are shot by cops. Them and their goddamn families. Seriously. That's the only way for you fuckers to stop. That's the only way to get the goddamn point across to you fuckers. I hope the cops abuse you. I hope so. I hope so. You know, recently I've lost patience with fucking cop dick suckers. I've lost patience with these people. Fuck you if you're a cop dick sucker. I don't want to talk to you. I want nothing but the worst to happen to you. You are a piece of shit. And I will treat you as such. Now and fucking forever. Deal with it. You want to know why? Do you want to know why? Okay. Let me tell you why.
I'm not nude.
This is during a global pandemic. They are arresting a woman for wearing a thong on a goddamn beach.
It's not nude. All right? An anus, a vagina are nude.
Listen. They are arresting a woman for wearing a thong on a goddamn beach. And they're justifying it. Mind you, this is during a global pandemic. A global fucking pandemic. They are not wearing masks, meaning they care more about this woman wearing a thong on a fucking beach than preventing the goddamn virus. Don't you make a single fucking excuse. I better not see one. I better not fucking see one. Why can't we say that's a fucked up goddamn department? No matter what the law is on the book, the fact that they are fucking enforcing this shit is that is a fucked up department. Why can't we just say that shit and just fucking move on? Why? Why do people have to, like fucking me, have to come in and shout at you? Shout at certain people. Be so fucking mean about it. Day in and day out to drive a fucking point home. Why do I keep having to fucking do that? If people can just concede 1 point, just one fucking point, you might have actually still had me on you're mostly saying, okay, I'm gonna give the cops a fucking chance. But I saw people justifying this shit. No, if you are even 1% Blue Lives Matter, fuck you. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to you. If you're even a half of 1% of blue line, a fucking thin blue line, fuck you. I don't want to talk to you. You call in, you say that shit, I'm going to hang up on you. I don't want to talk to you. No. We are past that point. We are past the point of being nice about this shit. We are past that point. No, we're at the point right now where if you're still in love with the goddamn cops, you are a piece of shit. Fuck you. People out here are being abused, mistreated, dehumanized by fucking road pirates with goddamn badges, and you have the nerve. There's people out there who have the nerve and the fucking audacity, right? You say, well, it's not all of them. It's just a few guys. It's not. Who the fuck cares if it's not all of them? If it's enough of them? If I were to say that most politicians were goddamn liars, is that literally true? If I say that all politicians are fucking liars who you can't even remotely trust, is that 100% true? I can't prove that beyond a shadow of a goddamn doubt. But you would fucking accept it. If I were to say that most lawyers are just out there for money, there's no way for me to prove that beyond a shadow of a doubt. But you would fucking accept it. If I were to say that most Comcast customer service centers have terrible customer service, I couldn't prove that beyond a shadow of a doubt, but you would fucking accept it. So why is it that when it comes to fucking bullshit ass road pirates, fucking pigs, cops, just suddenly I gotta keep doing a fucking hashtag not all. I'm not doing that shit. They're all bad. Fuck you if you think otherwise. Fuck you. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not doing it anymore. I refuse. I fucking refuse. Because if I can openly say that politicians fucking lie and you fucking accept that shit, then why is it that you can't also accept that when I say most cops, I don't trust them? Why is it that you suddenly have an issue with fucking that? Well, you have no other issue with generalizing people in other goddamn professions all the goddamn time. And let's be honest, we all do that shit. We all generalize people in professions. We all do that shit. I don't give a fuck who you are. But suddenly when it comes to cops, they get a special free pass. No more. See, over the next 4 years, cops are going to be treated like shit. And I'm so glad. I hope not only they get treated like shit, their families too. You want to know why? Fuck that. I'm sick of people pretending like it's not just also them who are part of the problem. The people who are pretending like, well, you know, you shouldn't say, you know, mean extreme things like that because, you know, you don't want people's families get fuck that. No, if a cop's wife getting her head busted open with a fucking brick makes a whole fucking department stop abusing people, good. You want to know why? Because there's been plenty of wives who've been abused by cops. But you know, like this poor girl here who's being kidnapped for wearing a goddamn thong. Suppose that was one of their fucking wives. Suppose I would have walked up to one of their wives, placed them in fucking zip ties, and just say, "Hey, I don't like the way you're fucking dressed. Come with me." That's fine? No? So why is it okay when they do it? See, that's why I have no problems with their wives being fucking targeted, their families, their homes, their kids. I have no problem with that now. Fuck it. No, we are at that point now. All people had to do was to simply say, call out bullshit where they fucking saw it. If I saw enough of that, I wouldn't have gotten this fucking extreme. No. If you want to keep being shitheads about it, you know, and I'm not talking about my audience. I'm talking about the Blue Lives Matter cop dick suckers, the fucking pigs out there, fucking pig lovers. If you want to keep being dickheads about it, well, fine. We will get gradually more and more extreme. Whenever a cop dies, I will throw a celebration at the beginning of the fucking podcast. Now, the more that I see people calling cops out for the shit that they fucking do, the less I will fucking do that shit. But the more you justify bullshit with goddamn cops, the more you're gonna see me become more and more fucking extreme. Seriously, I will celebrate their fucking deaths. I want people. I don't just want police accountability. I want people to be accountable, you know, to basically question the cops themselves. Stop being fucking bootlickers. Those days are over. The government so far has only given you $1,800 fucking dollars. They have shut down the goddamn economy. They have shut down fucking businesses. They have caused untold misery. Untold fucking misery. And yet you have people out there who still trust these fucking assholes. And then trust cops on top of that. No more here. No. If you trust cops, if you dick suck goddamn cops, I'm gonna treat you like shit repeatedly. I'm going to fucking dehumanize you. Yes. And I'm gonna do it with a fucking smile on my face. No. I'm so sick of the idea that I gotta apologize for hating cops. I hate them. They're all shit to me. I'm never gonna like them, and the more people keep trying to make excuses for them, the more I dislike them. But you notice that the less people make excuses for goddamn cops, you notice the softer I become on them. You know. But the more excuses that I fucking hear, the more extreme I get. So just, if the cop dick suckers would just shut the fuck up for a solid week. If I don't see any cop dick sucking for a solid week, you might even get me to turn to fucking Blue Lives Matter. But I just hate it when you tell me I can't criticize something. I hate that shit, man. I hate that shit. Don't tell me I can't criticize fucking something because you think that it's too goddamn sacred. No. We're not playing those stupid ass games. No, we're not. No, the fuck we're not. But let's move on. I know I went off on a crazy tangent there. I know, but I'm just sick of fucking bootlickers, man. I'm so done with these people. Good God. Oh. So, we're going to discuss several things here. But first, there is a video that you need to see right now. There is a video you need to see right now, and I know that it's going to be pretty good because I was shown this earlier. I don't want to spoil it for you guys. Where is it? Come on. Yes, so this is the inauguration protest in Portland, Oregon. There's also something that happened in Seattle. Apparently, there's people on the far left who does not like Joe Biden, and I want you guys to see that video. So it's gonna be kind of crazy. This is from. So again, I don't want to just not show you guys, you know, the truth, and try to be one-sided. No, I'm gonna show you everything that happened here. This is in Portland, Oregon. Come on. So as you can see, there was some trouble there. Let me see if I can change the aspect ratio. Okay. So yeah, that's the best that I'm gonna get. So as you can see, there was some chaos there, some crazy stuff that was going down there. Smoke grenades launched in Portland, Oregon. There were protests in Portland. There was also some protests in Seattle. There's protests pretty much all over the country. So here's the police. They're moving up to try to get the people to go back here. And as you can see, they're moving forward, and people are being pushed back. There are protests all over the place. Basically, the far left does not like Joe Biden, per se. I'm going to give you guys a link to this raw footage here. Because, again, this is not like sensationalized footage. This is actually raw footage from Bloomberg. And I kind of appreciate them. So that is the raw footage from the protest. That's insane, dude. Like, that's this is happening all over the country. I don't know why that was happening. I'm not sure why exactly the far left was acting like this. In some cases, I'm not even sure if it was the far left. But I will say I will pin it on the far left because there were Antifa out there. So let's not sit there and so we're not gonna pretend like, you know, there weren't there weren't people, you know, that were a part of the far left out there who weren't out there protesting, because they clearly were. We're not going to sit here and just make excuses, okay? There's several other videos I want you guys to see. There's one here. This one here is going to be crazy. So, police investigate if GOP rep tried to bring gun onto the floor. This is going to be onto the House floor. So we're going to look here. It's kind of wild. Get ready for that one. Let me know what you think. I'm going to take a little step away and grab some water real quick.
U.S. Capitol Police say that they are investigating a report that Republican Congressman Andy Harris of Maryland tried to bring a gun onto the House floor. Why? Why? During a vote yesterday, police stopped Harris at security. A security official present tells NBC News he saw the firearm on Harris and told his superiors. New metal detectors were ordered by House Speaker Nancy Pelosi after the deadly riot at the Capitol. They have become a flashpoint among some Republican members and have at times created tension with police. HuffPost reports Harris attempted to get another member to take the gun from him so he could go vote. The member told Harris he didn't have a license.
What's the guy
and refused
carrying
to hold the weapon
gun
for him.
around for?
Harris then left on the elevator and 10 minutes later returned to the House chamber. He placed his cell phone and keys on a desk to the side, did not set off the magnetometer, and was allowed to enter the House floor to vote. The Capitol official added that House members are allowed to carry firearms in the halls on Capitol grounds, including the Capitol building, but not the floor, adding that ammo has to be separately compartmentalized.
Okay.
Harris' office released a statement saying that the congressman has been threatened.
Yeah, we all have.
And never confirms that he's carrying a firearm. Really, the stupidity is just extraordinary. And by the way, I'm speaking as somebody that's done this, that's made thousands and thousands of votes. You haven't done this. You haven't brought a gun.
No, but I've been there, and I voted. And Casey, as long as Josh Hawley and Ted Cruz and Donald Trump aren't trying to get Americans to kill Nancy Pelosi and kill Mike Pence and commit insurrection against the United States of America, you know, you've been up there, Casey knows, there are Capitol Hill cops everywhere. It's more secure than ever for this guy and for others to think they're going to be able to carry a gun onto the House floor when we have Republican members of Congress that have had fundraising letters that show pictures of AOC and other Democrats while the Republican is holding an AR-15 and saying, I'm coming to target these women, they better watch out, or something along those lines. Who the hell would be comfortable with anybody having a gun on the House floor?
Yeah, I mean, the House floor was... Sorry, Patty, go ahead.
Go ahead, Casey.
But House floor was the safest. Was the safest place in Washington
That's where I'm going to go. Hold on a second. We're going to start with the person who has a name that starts with a K. Just checking. Go ahead, Casey. You go first.
Okay. Sorry about that. I mean, it was the safest place in Washington, the House floor, until January 6th, when it was Republicans who helped incite this mob led by President Donald Trump that went in there in the first place. And some of the members of the House have suggested that this is the right way to remedy things. And that's why there are magnetometers. And, you know, also, Joe, I would say Republicans are making a big deal about being on the side of the cops here. It's been, there have been some altercations between Republican members who don't want to.
I want you to hear that again.
To target these women, they better watch out, or something along those lines. Who the hell would be comfortable with anybody having a gun on the House floor?
Yeah, I mean, Joe, the House floor was. Sorry, Caddy, go ahead.
Go ahead, Casey.
The House floor was the safest. Was the safest place in Washington
That's where I'm going to go. Hold on a second. We're going to start with the person who has a name that starts with a K. Just checking. Go ahead, Casey. You go first.
Okay. Sorry about that. I mean, it was the safest place in Washington, the House floor, until January 6th, when it was Republicans who helped incite this mob led by President Donald Trump that went in there in the first place. And some of the members of the House have suggested that this is the right way to remedy things. And that's why there are magnetometers. And, you know, also, Joe, I would say Republicans are making a big deal about being on the side of the cops here. It's been, there have been some altercations between Republican members who don't want to get wanded going onto the House floor and the Capitol Police, who are just trying to do their jobs and keep everybody safe. So, I mean, there are a lot of problems with all of this.
I mean, and they're whining, Caddy, 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks after their lives are in danger. And these guys are being whining about being wanded before they go onto the House floor. Who the hell do they think they are?
I mean, it's kind of, you know, libertarianism at its most absurd extreme, right? We are never going to have the government tell us what to do with our weapons. And it's a show. Andy Harris isn't really going to go in there and defend anybody, let alone himself, by thinking that he can take a gun onto that. What's he thinking he's going to do by taking a gun onto the House floor? If there's another insurrection, is he going to be the guy that defends the rest of the members of Congress? No, he's doing this for his electors, his voters back home, who are diehard Trump supporters, some of them, and he is showing that he is still fighting. I mean, it's echoes of that rally that was outside the White House that started all of this. This is what this feels like. It's like we're going to show the liberals, we're going to show that we're still fighting, and we're going to make some kind of, frankly, absurd gesture of trying to take a gun onto the House floor.
Hey, thanks so much for watching our YouTube channel.
So, like, that was, I thought that was interesting. Yeah, I wanted to hear them out completely. So what did I think about that? All right, so I thought there was a lot of fluff there, especially on that one part where it's like they were kind of exaggerating some of the threats that were made. I think it was like suggested that there were some threats made to members of the squad, you know, with Ayanna Pressley and Rashida Tlaib and AOC. That was kind of overblown a bit. I would say exaggerated just a bit. So there's some executive orders that Joe Biden has just announced. Here.
Today, I'm signing an executive order that directs the whole of government, a whole of government effort to help millions of Americans who are badly hurting. It requires all federal agencies to do what they can do to provide relief to families, small business, and communities. And in the days ahead, I expect agencies to act. Let me touch on 2 ways these actions can help change Americans' lives. We need to tackle the growing hunger crisis in America. 1 in 7 households in America, 1 in 7, more than 1 in 5 Black and Latino households in America report they do not have enough food to eat. That includes nearly 30 million adults and as many as 12 million children. And again, they're in this situation through no fault of their own. It's unconscionable. The American Rescue Plan provides additional emergency food and nutrition assistance for tens of millions of children and families to address this crisis. But families literally can't wait another day. As a result of the executive order I'm going to shortly sign, the Department of Agriculture will consider taking immediate steps to make it easier for the hardest hit families to enroll and claim more generous benefits in the critical food and nutrition assistance area. This can help tens of millions of families, especially those who can't provide meals for their kids, who are learning remotely at home, are not receiving the regular meal plans that they have at school for breakfast or lunch. We also need to protect the health and safety of the American worker. Right now, approximately 40% of households in America have at least one member with a pre-existing condition. Just imagine, you're out of work through no fault of your own. You file for unemployment while you...
I mean, you gotta admit, I don't trust Joe Biden, especially not with his facial expression, especially not when you pause it like right, you look at his face. I don't trust Joe Biden, but he has a point. There are children out there right now who don't know where their next meal is coming from. I've seen families like that. In a country, phone number's not working. Oh, it should be working. It should be. Incredible Aspie. Okay, so I have Incredible Aspie trying to call in. So let me bring it in. Bring up the Skype. The Skype is running in the background. I just don't always answer it. I apologize for that. But the number is up. Line is up. Just call in 253-203-6784 and let me know what the dealio is. All right, go ahead and call in. I should be able to hear it. I don't always keep the lines always open per se, because sometimes I'll hear that doom 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 all day long, that tone. But if you call in, I should answer. So basically, Joe Biden, he mentions how there's a serious issue with food nutrition in this country. I know for a fact that there were food lines around the neighborhood that I'm at now, and I've seen that across the country. So I've seen food lines, man. It is pretty bad, and so I think that it is nice to see that at least we got a president that seems to give a shit. You know, because that was happening under Trump, and I barely heard that from like Trump. All I heard was the election was stolen, and it's like, even if the election was stolen, bro, you are still president. In the meantime, let's pass some freaking executive orders, man. Let's try to actually feed people, man. You know, it just seems like it was less about feeding people and helping people, and it was more about just his own ego, and it's so sad. All right, so 661, we got a call coming in. 661, this is Devil's Advocate, Pitchfork Podcast. How you doing?
This is Ashley.
Yes, how you doing?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
You're breaking out.
I'm breaking out?
Oh, you can. Oh yeah, you were breaking up every 2 seconds.
Oh no. I can hear you fine. I'm listening to the podcast now. I shouldn't be breaking up. I got a little earpiece in.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Good talking to you. What you rambling about today?
Rambling. No. Me. No, you good. No, me personally, I'm talking about everything, man. I'm talking about COVID. I'm talking about some of the police officers and some of the the Joe Biden stuff. And honestly, at this point, I mean, I'm almost starting to like Joe Biden. And I'm starting to hate Trump, man. I gave Trump a chance. I voted for Trump in 2016, right? I gave that man my vote, and I did that knowing that my family was going to shit on me for it. I gave that man my vote. And Donald Trump just let me down.
What did he do? What exactly did he do that let you down? I mean, he got a few good policies through.
Yeah, he got a few good policies through. Do you understand what that's the equivalent of saying?
No. Well, break it down for me.
That's the equivalent of saying that I'm Jesus because I gave somebody a cross one time. Okay, it's not about what someone has done in the past. It's what have you done for me lately? And lately,
no, I understand. Not everybody. I was never calling him the best president, but I was saying that do I think he's the worst president since Buchanan? No, I don't think he comes close to how bad Buchanan was. But
right. I don't think he was worse than Buchanan, but I think that he was definitely not Lincoln. And honestly, Obama was goddamn better. And here's why: because Obama could read the temperature of a damn room.
I mean, is this a metaphor for how like you could tell how people were gauging the situation, or what the people in the room were like, or are you talking about that?
Well, I'm talking about more. I'm talking about more. Okay, so you know how you had the George Floyd thing, right? You remember that?
What?
Do you remember the whole George Floyd thing?
The George Floyd thing. How can I forget that? They were rioting for 3 months because of that.
Yeah. Do you understand why they're worse?
No, I don't know why there were riots. Because because the media got more worked up, and because of the coronavirus, people were more on edge.
No.
I guess
that's not even remotely accurate. Do you understand? I'm going to explain it to you. So the reason why is because it wasn't just George Floyd. See, George Floyd is what you call a lightning rod. It was several issues. Like, for example, during Michael Brown, people didn't understand why there were riots. Then when in St. Louis, Missouri, you had in the same calendar year a police lieutenant who was quite literally ordering officers to pursue just black people. And you had other freaking officers turning that person in. So you had idiots on the right who kept saying, "Why are you rioting? Why are you so angry?"
Wait. You had police people who were telling their police officers just to arrest black people.
Yeah, and you had cops turn that in. You had cops turn them in. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So that's why that's what I'm saying. Some of these cases are just lightning rods. There have been issues in those areas for a long time. It's just that you are now seeing the freaking explosion because people on your side of the aisle refuse to shut the fuck up, and just say, okay, that's just wrong. So when people see over time that people keep justifying shit over and over and over and over and over and fucking over again, people get angry. That's why you have riots.
Every single one of these racialized cases, they at first people think that it was like the Michael Brown case that you talked about. Everybody at first thought it was some brutal murder. All of a sudden, come to find out that no, that's not what it was, and that's why people.
And it wasn't what the officer said either. The officer lied a lot too. That officer lied quite a bit.
Darren Wilson.
He claimed that Michael Brown came at him like a wild animal. When the video footage shows Michael Brown was fleeing. He was. Period. I saw it. Period. You can't shoot people in the goddamn back.
What?
You cannot shoot people in the back. The video footage shows the man was running.
Every bullet, every entry wound was in the front of his body.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. I've covered that case too, man.
Well, that was one key piece of information that I remember very well.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. But there's a reason why there was anger, because the eyewitnesses, people who actually saw the actual video, the actual video that I saw shows Michael Brown running and then falling. You don't get shot in your front, turn around, start running. No. I've seen people be freaking shot in damn combat on the freaking streets. That never happens.
Fell towards the officer. He was running forward. They fell forward towards the officer.
No, he didn't.
Charging after the
No, he didn't.
And the officer was.
No, the fuck he didn't. Is there anything else that you want to add, sir?
No, wait, no.
Is there anything else you want to add, sir?
No, not at the moment. Please continue.
The point that I'm making is that you have people like yourself who go out of your way to justify things that officers do. Even when it comes to freaking George Floyd, you could not at least understand why there was anger.
You stop putting words in my mouth. I don't justify. I thought what happened.
You literally just did it.
But I was not talking about George Floyd. I was talking about Michael Brown.
You didn't even say that what happened to George Floyd was wrong. You did say, why was there even riots? Why was there protests? Motherfucker, because the shit was wrong and the shit keeps happening. That's why.
All right, I see what you're trying to tell me. You're trying
Jesus.
to tell me that it's not just because of these cases. It's because there has been years of police.
There's lightning rods. So let me give you a clear timeline. When the police start off, they start off as fucking slave catchers, right? Start off as fucking slave catchers. So first of all, you cannot move forward, period, without first acknowledging that shit. It's a goddamn fact.
Yeah, the first police department was started in Boston like 70, 87.
Oh my God. The fucking sheriff's badge, the very badge that I just mentioned, is the slave catcher's badge. Would you like to see it on goddamn screen for yourself? In fact, hold on. I'll show it to you. Hold on. It was literally a slave catcher's badge. That was the history of our policing in this country. Sheriff's badge, slave catcher badge. See, this information is freely available.
Two badges look similar.
No, they are the exact same badge. Do you not understand that?
So what's your top?
Law. Okay, hold on. Wait. Look on the screen. Lawenforcementmuseum.org.
Please stop interrupting me, please.
No. This is my show. It's my show. I can interrupt you. On the seed right there, it says slave patrols. Lawenforcementmuseum.org. It says it right there. Read it.
Okay. All right. So the badges look the same. Does that mean what does that mean that modern post office?
Oh my God! I just told you it's in history books. You dumb fuck. It's in history books. Yes, that's where the fuck the badge came from. You idiot. Jesus. But no. I'm not listening to another word. Hanging up on you. Bye. Fucking idiot. No, I'm not dealing with anyone else like that. No more bootlicking. Fuck you. You're a goddamn idiot. How do you not understand? I just said, oh my God. Fucking idiot, man. I just said this fucking sheriff's badge came from the slave catcher's badge. Everybody knows that shit. That's in the history books. It's in fucking history books. do you not know that? Oh, look, Cheryl's bag. I've looked this shit up a million times. That's the history of it. Everybody knows that. Yes, even time.com is telling you. Look at this shit. How the U.S. got its police force. Okay? This is time.com. I'm pretty sure time.com knows more about the fucking issue than fucking Aspie. Retarded ass. How the U.S. got its police force. Okay? It would be easy to think that the police officer is a figure who existed since the beginning of civilization. That's the idea on display in the proclamation from President John F. Kennedy on a dedication of the week on May 15th as National Police Week, in which he noted that law enforcement officers have been protecting Americans since the nation's birth. In fact, the U.S. police is a relatively modern invention sparked by changing notions of public order, driven in turn by economics and politics, according to Gary Potter, a crime historian at Eastern Kentucky University. Policing in colonial America have been very informal, based on a for-profit, privately funded system that employed people part-time. Towns also commonly rely on a night watch in which volunteers sign up for a certain day and time, mostly to look out for fellow colonists engaging in prostitution or gambling. But that system wasn't very difficult. Wasn't very efficient, because the watchmen often slept and drank while on duty, and there were people who were put on watch as a form of punishment. Now let's see. In the South, however, the economics that drove the creation of police forces were centered not on the protection of shipping interests, but on the preservation of the slavery system. Some of the primary policing institutions that were the slave patrols tasked with chasing down runaways and preventing slave revolts. Potter says the first formal slave patrol had been created in the Carolina colonies in 1704. During the Civil War, the military became the primary form of law enforcement in the South, but during Reconstruction, many local sheriffs functioned in a way analogous to the earlier slave patrols, enforcing segregation and the disenfranchisement of freed slaves. Aspie, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. That's been since 1704. Over 300 fucking years. Shut the fuck up. I'm gonna post that link in the goddamn chat. We'll see the slave catcher. The badges just look similar. No, you dumb fuck, it's in goddamn history books. The badges aren't just similar; they are the same thing, you idiot. Who the fuck thinks, right? So you understand where the police came from. You understand the fucking time frame that they came from, right? You get that, right? Right? Who the fuck thinks they weren't used a lot? At least used a lot to keep slaves in fucking check. Who do you think was chasing down slaves when they fucking escaped? Who do you think was doing that? See, people like that, I don't want to talk to. I don't want you here. Go the fuck away. Seriously. 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 If I present a fucking fact to you, if I present a fucking fact to you, I even posted the fucking fact. You see what I mean? People like that, they like it when cops kill black people. They like that shit. They like that shit. They like that shit. And that's why people like that, I hope you get shot down by a fucking cop. Seriously. Aspie, don't you worry. Every dog has their fucking day. And you'll get yours one day. Because I can tell you, a lot of white folk thought that they were gonna be the fucking exception. That's strange. So I covered a lot of cases where white folk get fucking abused. In fact, I just covered one where a woman got arrested for wearing a goddamn thong. So basically, what this is fucking translated to is basically the version of the right wing fakitarians. Tread on everyone else but me. That's Aspie, so sorry ass. Yeah, like just like DM Cosmic Chaos said on YouTube. Funny thing is, Red Dead Redemption even covers the history pretty well. Well, the cops came for slave catchers, and the original organization was Pinkerton. Even video games have gotten this right, you fucking idiot. Aspie the goddamn. I guarantee you, if you would have looked into Aspie's shit, he's a fucking racist. I guarantee you. I bet money on it. I would bet my life on it. I would bet my life on it. I would bet my life on it. I hate bootlicking scum like that. I hate bootlicking scum like that, man. Even Red Dead Redemption covered this shit. And he got it wrong. A video game. A fucking video game could have taught you this shit, Aspie. You fucking loser. You racist, racist behind the scenes goddamn loser. You cock dick sucking loser. Oh hell, you want this fucking show to be about you? Well you should lower your voice. Don't tell me what the fuck to do on my own show, bitch. It's my show, not yours. I will talk and say whatever the fuck I like on my own fucking show. See, this fucking and that's what further let me know that he's probably a goddamn racist. Cause see, these racists, right? They love come at the freaking black folks, say the most stupidest shit out there, and they expect us to just fucking take it. No, I can talk shit to you. No, I can talk shit to you. I don't have to just do what the fuck you say no more. It ain't goddamn slavery. I don't have to just be quiet when you tell me to. I'm not fucking Toby. And you ain't Massa. So if you call in here, I want you to understand something. It's my fucking show. I will give you respect. But you will not talk over me. If you make a claim, I'm going to prove to you that you're fucking wrong. Doesn't matter how I say it, if I'm right. If you can't handle that, take your ass on then. Seriously. But if you make claims here, you will back that shit up. Because I will not have QAnon, conspiratorial, Bigfoot bullshit on my channel. Fuck that. No, Andy Warski and all motherfuckers, they might allow that shit? Not me. No. You want to bootlick? Go bootlick somewhere else. Go find yourself a boot and fucking do shit if you goddamn want to. Ride that shit up your asshole, goddamn it. Make sure you put the boot up the booty. Suck on the boot if you so desire. But you won't bootlick here. You want to be a bootlicker? I'm going to make you goddamn work for it. You're going to prove every fucking thing you say. Because I am sick. I am sick to death. It doesn't matter if they're on the left or on the right. I am sick to fucking death of goddamn bootlickers. I am sick to fucking death of goddamn bootlickers. I am sick to fucking death of people who justify shit that cops do. I am sick to fucking death of people who are under the fucking impression that most cops are good people. By the very nature of what they do, that tells you they're probably not good people. Because they probably at some point enforced some shit, whereas there was never a goddamn victim. And if you put somebody in fucking handcuffs and put them in the back of a goddamn car for a victimless crime, what does that make you? What the fuck does that make you? If you put somebody in restraints, kidnap them against their will, you hold them against their will, you put them in a vehicle, you take them down, you kidnap them, you take them down to a fucking cell, you lock them up, what does that make you? In any other context, what would that make you? In any other context, what would that make you? Now, I've noticed that I've tried to get another call in. And I don't know who's trying to call in, but let's see. Hopefully it's not Ashby, because I'm not answering that fucking call. No. I just refuse to talk to a goddamn bootlicker. Like I said, the slave badge clearly came from the fucking sheriff's badge came from goddamn slave catchers. Even video games have gotten that shit right. I first heard about that. I remember I first heard about that. I knew about it since I was a small child, but I first heard about that in like detail when I was in high school. It was a high school class. It was my high school history class, and the teacher's name was Henrietta Montgomery. I remember her name, Henrietta Montgomery, Miss Montgomery, and she taught us that in a high school history class. So how is it that a high school history teacher got that shit right, and a video game did, but this fuck, even after I'm reading him the fucking information, he still can't get them accepted. It's fucking ridiculous, man. That's how far people will fucking go to suck on a cop's dick, man. That's how far they will go, man. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Why can't people just accept that cops do wrong shit? And that maybe if you would just accept the small shit, I would just lay off them. But if you can't even accept small shit, then fuck all of them then. Do you see how that shit works? How the fuck do you want me to know when they're doing good shit when you justify everything they fucking do? I would love to say, okay, that's good and that's bad, but if you're saying that everything's goddamn good, what the fuck do you want me to do with that? I mean, goddamn. I'm just asking for a little bit of fucking accountability. I'm not asking for a lot, just a little. We got a call from 781. Let's go ahead and call this number back. Let's see what happens. We got a missed call here. Let's see what happens. Let's see what we get.
Hello?
It's 781. This is Devil's Advocate with the Pitchfork Podcast. Did you try to call his number?
Yes, I did.
All right. All right. Well, tell me, what was the reason for your particular call?
My call was I was just going through Twitter and I saw him on there, so I figured I'd call.
Right. Well, basically, I'm running the show. I just talk about news and politics. So, is there anything that's like on your mind?
Oh no. I mean, that's probably a rerun, right? That's on there now.
Right.
Okay, I'm sorry. This is my first time ever watching the show. No, I was just basically calling you to tell you the police, they don't care if you're black or white. They're just a pit bull of the government.
I hear you. Why do you think there's some people out there who blindly like defend them?
I don't know, because they're so fucking brainwashed. We've been brainwashed about everything we've been told about history anyways.
Have you? How many times have you ever seen like law enforcement abuse? In your own personal life, or have you known anybody who's been abused by like cops or what?
Oh, me, I'm what you want to call white. I'm Polish, but I came to America in the early '80s, and they fucked with me all the time, and I wasn't doing nothing wrong. They fuck with everybody. They're no good.
So what do you think? What do you think is a good solution? My solution personally is a private security force, like every neighborhood, just basically buy your own private security force.
Yeah, but you know what? What I learned about life, I'm 49. I don't know how old you are.
I'm 34.
How old? 34?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're still young. It's just too corrupt. As soon as someone gets power, they just get corrupted.
Right,
and,
right.
Like the whole system is corrupt from head to toe. And the police are just, like I said, the enforcers of the politics. So that they'll beat you, kill you, black, white. They don't give a fuck what color you are. Because where are the black cops calling out these racist fucking white cops? They're not there. Because they're doing the same thing.
I made a point when I was making a video about the Seattle Police Department, how they keep making the police chiefs like darker and darker and darker, and it's like, yeah, but you guys are under a consent decree because the federal government quite literally calls you that racist, where they are now micromanaging you, and you've had black police chiefs, so that's telling you that it doesn't really matter what the color of the freaking police chief is if you keep having this damn corruption, Yeah,
the corruption's not going to stop, because if the politicians would come down on the cops and enforce the laws that they break every fucking time, because they kill someone, they get a vacation. Now, if the politicians came down on them and, smack the law down, then you think they would go out and beat people for not wearing masks or doing wrong stuff? Or, well, you think they would obey their lead masters? No.
Well, the other thing that I want to ask you about. So what do you think about the incoming Biden administration?
The administration. See, I don't know if you're onto this, but it's not the whites that are in charge. It's a special group of people that you can't talk about.
Right. We are just gonna say. In a Biden-Harris administration, many content creators say this. In a Biden-Harris administration, we won't allow certain talk because I don't want to get yeeted. But you are right. There's a certain group that runs things. I've noticed too.
Yeah, so it's not going to matter Biden, Trump, Bush. They all do the bidding for them, and it's going to be the same as usual.
So, do you think that Biden is going to make it past his first term, or do you think we're going to look at that President Kamala Harris?
Listen, I learned in politics. It doesn't matter who's in there. They like the Republicans. I don't know what you are. You even are a Republican.
I'm like an independent. I don't like either one. They both fucking suck. They all suck. I want a third, fourth, fifth, sixth party. I want 8 parties.
You're not gonna have it.
Yeah, I know.
They're controlled by that one group of people, so they do the bidding for them, and it doesn't matter who's president. Like, forget Biden. He's just a puppet. Yeah. They're all puppets, and that's all there is.
Yeah. So, is there anything else that you want to add, man? Just any kind of shout-outs or anything?
No, I'm not really big into, like, that shit. I just listen, and occasionally I'll call in, but I don't do anything online.
All right.
Because it's all getting censored anyways. There's going to be no more podcast. Fucking boy.
Well, I try to give people access to the show and access to me, but I want to thank you for calling in, man. It was actually pretty pleasurable, and we're not going to mention that group, that certain group, because I don't know we're even talking about like the exact same group, but we're going to leave that alone. Because we are good, upstanding Americans, and in the Biden-Harris administration, that sort of talk is hate speech. So we're going to leave that one alone.
Yeah, but you know what? What was your name? I'm sorry.
Devil's Advocate, man.
Oh, Devil's Advocate. But listen, this has been going on for centuries. What's been going on today, and it's not going to change because we can't name the problem. So it's never going to stop. And America is not run by Americans, so people should forget that.
Right. Well, we're going to leave that one alone, man. I thank you very much for your call. I thank you for your call, man. I appreciate you being so open and being so candid. And I hope you have a great day. Please be safe, all right?
Yeah, you too.
All right, man. Peace. Yeah, in a Biden-Harris administration, I will not say certain things because Susan Wojcicki, she's out here headhunting for Negroes. She's just looking to yeet channels, man. She's looking. Susan is out here. She on the prowl, man. Susan, man, you freaking girl, Susan. You know, I am so scared, right? That one day I'm gonna open up my freaking bathroom door and Susan's gonna be there butt naked, just waiting on me. You know, I'm scared of Susan Wojcicki, man. I mean, she's out here yeeting channels. You've had black creators, white creators, Chinese, Asian, LGBT, you name it. They just getting yeeted for the smallest stuff, man. I can say certain things, but there's certain things that I can't say. You know. Everyone's like, oh, you're a pussy, you're a punk, you won't say this and that. No, I'll say it, just not on here. You know, when Susan goes away, I'll be talking again. Then when she come here, I'll be quiet. You bet not test Susan, man. Susan, she has been on a roll lately, man. In fact, I was kind of surprised that the whole Karen meme even got like the name Karen. It should have been like Susan. You know, like please stop being a freaking Susan. You know, I like that. I like Susan better than like Karen, cause Susan has been all over the place. Susan has been. I mean, I've seen Susan claim the virtual scalps of so many different content creators to the point where it's you know, it's kind of crazy, you know. But I want to ask you a question. Who do you guys think is the main issue in America? Police, politicians, lawyers? Let me know, man, or let me know if it's all the above. What do you think? Who do you think is the main problem in the United States of America? Who do you think is the main issue? Now let's get back into the news because I mean I took a little bit of a detour there. All right, so we're gonna go back into the news and we're gonna go back into where we were gonna cover some articles. So here, this is about Mitch McConnell here. There are some Republicans who privately want Trump gone. And want to convict him so that he can't run for public office ever again, well, for federal office ever again. So we're gonna give you a link to that article in the chat here. We're gonna go over that article briefly because again, I want people to see that there were Republicans who were lobbying against Trump even while he was in office, and here are some people here who are showing you that you know they want him gone. All right, so let's go down here. As the House prepares to send the articles of impeachment to the Senate on Monday, CNN has learned that dozens of influential Republicans around Washington, including former top Trump administration officials, have been quietly lobbying GOP members of Congress to impeach and convict Donald Trump. The effort is not coordinated, but reflects a wider battle inside the GOP between those loyal to Trump and those who want to sever ties and ensure he can never run for president again. The lobbying started in the House after the January 6th attack on the Capitol and in the days leading up to the impeachment.
Are you?
Let me pause this very quick. Okay. So we get another call. Okay. But it's now more focused on Senator Mitch McConnell, the powerful minority leader who has signaled he may support convicting Trump. Mitch said to me he wants Trump gone, one Republican member of Congress told CNN. It is in his best political interest to have him gone. It is in the GOP's interest to have him gone. The question is, do we get there? McConnell had proposed delaying the trial until Friday, but with the articles coming to the Senate on Monday, the process will likely be set in motion sooner. It would take 17 Republicans to join all 50 Democrats in order to convict. While the bar is high, some GOP sources think there is more of an appetite to punish the former president than is publicly apparent. There are 10 House Republicans who voted there are 10 House Republicans who voted for impeachment. There are probably over 150 who supported it, said Charlie Dent, a former Republican congressman and CNN contributor. The ongoing Republican whisper campaign, according to more than a dozen sources who spoke to CNN, is based on a shared belief that a successful conviction is critical for the future of the Republican Party. Multiple sources describe this moment as a reckoning for the party. I want you to understand what's happening here. So the reason why there are so many Republicans who want Trump gone, essentially, is that Trump is causing issues within the Republican Party that is not reversible. They can't fix it. There's a rift. There is the MAGA, and there is the so-called Republican Party. All right. You know, there's MAGA, and then there's the so-called Republican Party. You know, so with that being said, you know, if you don't give these people, you know, what they want, well, what tends to happen is they will now start campaigning against you. And so basically these Republicans, they want the Trump Republicans gone because they want to be able to run for office again and not have to fear MAGA and not to fear, you know, QAnon, not to fear, you know, these right-wing conspiracy theories and these right-wing conspiracy theorists when they start spewing all this freaking nonsense. They want to be able to reclaim their party again. That's what these people want. And with MAGA around, they are unable to do that. With MAGA around, they can't even, you know, you got Lindsey Graham who's unable to even walk through an airport without being heckled. You know, Lindsey Graham doesn't want to freaking deal with that. Mitch McConnell's house was vandalized. So was Nancy Pelosi, and given that happened before January 6th, you know, Mitch McConnell was looking at the writing on the freaking wall. He's worried about the future of the party because if you look at what Trump has basically caused, he's caused a kind of rift, whereas pretty much people will decidedly stay home from voting for years, for multiple election cycles, because now you have sold them this idea that the election was rigged. So how is it going forward that Trump voters, you know, people who are loyal to Trump in like Georgia, how is it going forward they are now going to vote for Trump? You know, or even vote for any freaking Republican in Georgia, because you saw what happened with Raphael Warnock and John freaking Ossoff. They both won their Senate races against incumbents, against Republican GOP incumbents. They beat them both. And Trump also lost Georgia. So is Georgia a bellwether for Texas or South Carolina or Florida or any other southern state or Louisiana or Mississippi? Is the country changing slowly to the point where the Republicans are becoming slowly uncompetitive? Is the country changing whereas the Republican Party can no longer even compete in the South now? Because if you are a Republican running for president in, you know, and for example, if Georgia goes blue, there is no path to the White House for you if you are a Republican. All right, read what you so. DM Cosmic Chaos says he believes that cops are the main issue in America, and also he says that the Republicans are reaping what they sow. Manic Pandas said a lot of people do like bacon. The other person says also Manic Manic Panic says that's a whole other kettle of fish. Yes, in the Biden-Harris administration, we will not have certain talk because I don't want to get yeeted. And Susan Wojcicki, man, she's headhunting people, so we're not going to discuss certain things, certain beliefs, because I don't even believe certain of things. But even if I did, I wouldn't discuss it here because Susan, I want you to know I'm being 100% politically correct. All right, Susan, I'm being 100% politically correct. All right. I love you, Susan. I would never offend you, and I would not offend certain people because, again, I am 100% a good boy. Okay. Let's get back into the news. So that was about Mitch McConnell and he quietly lobbying for the Republicans to, and also some Republicans are lobbying to get rid of Donald Trump. So I found that to be very, very interesting. Let's move on to the next news story here. So all right here. That was the video that came with it. I'm not going to look at that right there. So, Fox News, there's a few things in here that I wanted to look for. That was the video I wanted. And there we go. All right. So, here's one story here from Saudi Arabia about the key XL pipeline and Joe Biden. Democrats are no longer a friend to American workers, the senator said. Joe Biden putting Saudi Arabia first by halting Keystone XL pipeline, Senator Daines. It's published by Fox News. I want you guys to see this story because, again, whenever there's criticism that's, I think, somewhat legitimate of Joe Biden, I will put it forth. And, again, I don't think Joe Biden's perfect. I think he deserves criticism. I think anybody who's been in politics for as long as he has deserves criticism. This is written by Katy Perry. Ooh. Not the Katy Perry, but another Katy Perry. I wish it was. You know, I think Katy Perry is sexy, man. If you want to know my definition of a sexy white woman, I love Katy Perry. I don't give a damn what nobody say. That's my boo right there. If Katy Perry ever want to get married, I'll get married to Katy Perry. But let's get into the story here. Senator Steve Daines, Republican from Montana, believes President Joe Biden killing the Keystone XL pipeline shows he's putting Saudi Arabia first, not American workers. It looks like he cares more about the workers in Saudi Arabia than the workers in America, Daines said on America's Newsroom. This is going to have a direct effect on the pocketbooks of the American people here in the middle of a pandemic. Biden signed a total of 17 executive orders within minutes of entering the Oval Office for the first time on Wednesday. The orders reversed a number of Trump administration policies and covered areas Biden identified as his first priorities on the campaign trail, including the coronavirus pandemic and climate change. In addition to halting the Keystone XL pipeline, a Keystone XL oil pipeline project, Biden renewed the U.S. commitment to the Paris Climate Agreement just 3 years after President Trump withdrew his support. This is a major infrastructure project that President Biden killed 6 hours into his presidency. Daines said, "It's outrageous. It's outrageous, and it's going to get worse." Daines is also worried about the Biden administration's plans to put a pause on any new oil and gas leases on federal lands. He said the administration is yielding to the far left radical extremists who are pushing the Green New Deal. It's already getting to be implemented. It's already beginning to be implemented, he said. We're seeing it before our very eyes. It's going to kill jobs. It's going to raise energy prices. I don't think so. But, you know, again, he's being so hyperbolic when if he just told the truth is just fine. You know, he's halting the key XL, pipeline, and I know for a fact that will generate jobs. That's all you had to say. All this other hyperbolic BS, that's just fake news. Daines added that this action brings up national security issues as well. That is perfectly legitimate. Thank God that we've had this revolution in this revolution in energy in America to reduce our dependency on the Middle East, he said. Biden's action reverses that course and places the dependence back on the Middle East. That is a terrible policy for our country. Daines said he believes that these policies show Democrats are no longer a friend to the American worker. And, you know, if he just left it there, just there, that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. I would say he has a point. If you end that pipeline, that hurts jobs not only in Canada, but it also hurts jobs right here, because we can be pumping our own oil and natural gases. You know, and to end our dependence on Middle Eastern oil, whereas it forces, you know, that would force Saudi, the freaking Saudis and Pakistan, Mexico, Iran. It forces so many other countries to play ball. It forces them to say if they have human rights concerns, they could actually end it. I could totally get why people are criticizing Joe Biden based on this. I understand that you've got to be a little bit more friendlier towards the environment. Climate change is real. I get that part. But you don't want to kill jobs during a freaking pandemic. Hasn't the government killed enough jobs? And now you're talking about killing more jobs. Now, again, I think that again, you know, I think that the senator's criticisms are legitimate. Just stop being so just stop being so over the top with it. Stop being so hyperbolic, and maybe I will listen and I will just take it in, because you have completely legitimate concerns, Steve Daines. When you start just being like over the top with it, that's when you start losing people. All right, but let's move on. Schumer and Inhofe say National Guard wasn't booted from on high, but by single officers, but by single officer without authority. So a police officer sent our National Guard outside of the Capitol building to a parking garage, and police officer did that, and so politicians are catching the blame for that. So I'm gonna give you a link to this story from Fox News. A single officer who decided to be a piece of shit. Because again, you have a lot of piece of shit officers out there. Most of them are goddamn pigs who deserve a goddamn bullet, to be honest with you. But basically, a single officer caused that. Schumer says, what happened was an outrage and it will not happen again. It's written by Tyler Olson of Fox News, published 3 hours ago, which is today, January 22nd. Happy Friday and happy belated New Year. We're heading to February. I can't wait. All right, so 2 top senators on Friday said that the order for National Guard troops to move their rest area from on Capitol grounds to a nearby parking garage, which sparked fierce outrage on both sides of the aisle, appeared to be a mistake made lower in the chain of command rather than an order from on high. There was one uniformed police officer who issued an order without authority or without going through the chain of command, and I'm glad the Capitol Police and the Guard are taking and trying to figure this out. Senator James Inhofe, Republican from Oklahoma, said after a morning of competing statements from the two organizations, we are going to be able to identify who that person was. Inhofe remains the chairman of the Senate Armed Services Committee until Schumer, Democrat from New York, and Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, Republican from Kentucky, come to an organizing resolution on how to run the Senate with a 50-50 split. That's kind of funny, reading Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell. So apparently a single police officer, a pig, a road pirate, once again causing trouble, causing our soldiers, our troops, our brave men and women in uniform to be moved from the Capitol building to a damn parking garage. The governors out there saying that they're going to announce that they are pulling back their National Guardsmen because of how they were treated, partially. Unbelievable. A freaking road pirate pig caused that to happen. Unbelievable. Let's move on here. Dem governors Whitmer Murphy flout on COVID restrictions for Biden inauguration. The inauguration violated Whitmer's most recent order limiting outdoor gatherings to 25 people. And some people out there would say, well, that's in her state. Well, my thing is, it doesn't matter which state it is. You know, but my thing is that it doesn't matter where you pass that restriction. If in your home state you have banned outdoor gatherings of 25 or more, then take your ass home then. You know, I don't like Gretchen Whitmer. I get that the far right threatened her, but I can understand the anger. I don't justify threats against her. That's wrong. But I can understand why people are definitely upset with her, because she has caused people's lives to be miserable. She has been a big hypocrite. This is originally published by Colin Anderson of the Washington Free Beacon. Multiple Democratic governors defied their own COVID-19 gathering restrictions and travel recommendations to attend President Joe Biden's inauguration. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer tweeted a photo from the ceremony and later said she left with the feeling of great hope and optimism and determination. The inauguration, however, violated Whitmer's most recent gatherings and face mask order, which states that outdoor gatherings must be limited to 25 or fewer people. Around 2,000 people attended the inauguration, according to a Washington Post estimate. Now, this is, I'm going to show you a freaking example of dishonest reporting. Michigan State Senator Eric Nesbitt called Whitmer's hypocrisy nothing new. The Democrat previously attended a Detroit Black Lives Matter protest in June, just days after expressing a high level of concern as such gatherings could expedite the spread of the virus. Governor Whitmer has been sadly more focused on public relations and partisan politics instead of collaborating and making smart decisions to better help the people of Michigan, Nesbitt told the Washington Free Beacon. Now, my thing is that while I think his criticism is valid, that's perfectly fair. But she was attending the president's inauguration, for one, and two, if you want to complain about, you know, things in your state there, Mr. State Senator, why don't you go ahead and fix it? I agree, Gretchen Whitmer is definitely a hypocrite. She's a freaking politician. Congratulations, you've just told me that water is wet. You've told me that a politician is corrupt and a freaking hypocrite. All right. Good. You're not telling me anything new. I don't like Gretchen Whitmer. I think that Whitmer should not be the governor there in Michigan. I totally agree with that. But you're not telling me anything new by exposing, you know, that she's a hypocrite. My problem with Gretchen Whitmer is not the fact that she's a hypocrite. My problem with her is that she's not doing enough to help the businesses in her state. Clearly not. She keeps pushing these freaking lockdowns, and I get it. But why are you pushing lockdowns? If there's a single hungry or homeless family in your state, you open up your doors personally, Gretchen Whitmer. You are the governor. there shouldn't be a single hungry or homeless person in your state. If you are a governor of a damn state, if you are a politician at all that supposedly represents your people, you shouldn't be a multi-millionaire. You shouldn't be worth a whole bunch of money. Your money should be going towards your people. Open up your coffers. That's my issue with Gretchen Whitmer. So many businesses have been shut down in her state, and yet she has done nothing, fucking nothing, to help those people. I don't care how much of a hypocrite she is. She is a business killer. That's my issue with her. I don't care if she's showing up to, you know, the inauguration where there's elevated numbers. You know, granted that does make her a hypocrite. But the part that makes her a monster is the fact that she has not done enough to help the people of Michigan. She's a shitty governor. That's what she is. So focus on that and not so much the partisan politics, okay? This is an example of dishonest reporting. Biden spotted mass lists on federal property hours after signing mandate. Conservatives were quick to call Biden out. President Biden faced criticism for removing his face mask while visiting the Lincoln Memorial on Wednesday night, hours after signing an executive order requiring masks on federal property to prevent the spread of COVID. Wearing masks is not a partisan issue. It's a patriotic act that can save countless lives. That's why I signed an executive order today issuing a mask mandate on federal property. It's time to mask up, America, Biden wrote on Twitter on Wednesday night. So he was spotted without a mask on at the Lincoln Memorial, right? And the right immediately jumped on him. He briefly pulled off the mask to speak. That's the story. And so leave it to Charlie Kirk's dishonest, pathetic, boot-licking ass. Watch this now. He pulled the mask off to speak, right? And so when this is over, he puts the mask back on. And as you can see, they are actually recording something as they're freaking talking. They are actually recording something. That's the point of it. As you can see, he's addressing the nation. And he then put the mask back on. I actually seen this freaking video in its entirety. There was nothing there. He pulled the mask off to speak on camera. As you can see, his face is being illuminated by some kind of light, right? Meaning he's probably on camera. He's dressed like this with the American flag in the background because he's speaking on camera. That's why he pulled the freaking mask off. So again, guys, let's not just be dishonest. Let's tell the truth, all right? Let's not make things up. There's plenty of things to criticize Joe Biden on without, making things up. With that being said, guys, that's going to be it for the podcast today. Thank you for watching the show. All right, guys, if you want to participate in the show, the number to call in next time is going to be 253-203-6784. Again, the number to call is 253-203-6784. I'm Devil's Advocate. If you want to follow me on DLive, Mr. Devil's Advocate, Trovo, Mr. Devil's Advocate, YouTube, Devil's Advocate, Fuse Painter 86 on Twitch, Devil's Advocate on Twitter. I am the Devil's Advocate channel on Facebook. Guys, make sure you like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Until next time, guys, horns up. Peace out. Wear a mask. Don't get, please be safe. Don't get COVID. And please stop bootlicking. Bootlicking is so disgusting. I hate it. Until next time, horns up. Peace out. Be safe.